Fairy season, let's talk about everything of health, body, and wellness.
It's time for a food fight. Coming up.
I don't just talk stuff and repeat stuff. I'm living this stuff.
And you can thank me for covering your astro.
Leading out loud. Leading out loud. Leading out loud.
Welcome to LOL Leading Out Loud, a TV podcast that, like herpes, just keeps coming back. I'm psychic astrologer Christopher Wotecki, the sensei to SeriousJoy.com.
And I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor with ScottCruzPM.com.
And today we're talking about how it's time to embody taking care of your body. And Scott?
Body, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, let's have a food fight.
Let's have a food fight. Yes, indeed. But before we get into that food fight in the body, we have an effort here. We want to always keep things unpredictable. So in an effort to be unpredictable, we're going to do a psychic play-at-home predicting game. Yay!
Yeah,
It's going to be the audience versus Scott Cruz in what we call Psychic Lightning Round. Oh, where's the thunder? It didn't come up. Oh, never mind. No, it is Psychic Lightning Round. Now, here's the instructions, audience. We want you to play along, especially the people who are chatting. You will be on screen, Mr. and Mrs. Chatters, just so y'all know. So be nice. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to ask you, I'm going to name a current fad in health and wellness. And you are to check your psychic awareness, and you have 2 seconds to answer. Is it a sustaining trend or a psychic bend? A sustaining trend or a psychic bend, okay? And for those who are chatting, you could just do, I guess, PS or ST or P or PB, right? We got this. Everyone get ready to play around. This is Psychic Lightning Round. Here we go. Everyone, wake up. We're doing some psychic stuff. People talk about sucking up on tomatoes. All right. Well, there's our lightning. Thank you. A little slow here. All right. So the clock. Our first topic. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend? Ozempic and GLPs.
It's a psychic bend. I don't think it's going to last very long. No.
He's going to bend over in pain. I got it. All right.
Bend it over.
Our next topic. Oh, where does music go? The keto diet.
Keto diet. Well, I did the keto diet for 6 years, and I recognize it's kind of one of those things that once you get going, you have to grow out of it. So I will say it's going to be another psychic bend. Won't last. 6
years is a bend. That's the hell of a bend. That's every time for bends. All right. All right. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend? Wearable fitness tracking technology.
Based on where things are going, I would say sustainable trend, unfortunately.
All right. Is it a psychic trend or sustaining trend or psychic bend for 10 plus glasses of water a day?
I would say sustaining trend. I think people are becoming more healthy. I've noticed a lot of health foods are shutting down, or a lot of fast food restaurants have been shutting down. I watched a documentary about it. People actually becoming more healthy. So I would say it's a sustaining trend.
That's correct. It goes back to hunting and gathering. All right. Sustaining trend or psychic bend, ninja style workouts.
Ninja style workouts? What? That exists?
Oh, yeah, in the 80s.
What? Well, I would definitely say psychic bend for sure.
Yeah, psychic bend. Yeah, that with Pilates. Okay. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend, hot yoga?
Sustaining trend. Yeah. I think that's been around for a while. I think that's not going anywhere. Now the hot might classify and change. It might be doing things differently with the word hot, but I still say it's a sustaining trend.
In India, it's always hot, so that's the way. No air conditioning there. All right. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend? Cold plunges.
Cold plunges. That's the psychic bend to me. I don't think people are gonna. I mean, cryogenics has been around, but I think the whole plunge thing,
Yeah, you need a refrigerated pool. It has a lot of extra equipment. All right. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend, raw meat diet?
That's a psychic bend. Yes. I mean, all these diets are trends that don't last forever. So, no, I'd say it's a total bend.
Although it's popular with the animal kingdom. Very popular with the animal kingdom.
True.
All right.
But we're becoming less animal, more robotic. So I would say that's why it's a bend.
Okay. Is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend, intermittent fasting?
Intimate, I would say sustaining trend. Actually, that's been going on for a long time. I think people are still doing that, and I think people are focusing on less consumption of food and more, spiritual things. So I would say a sustaining trend.
Starvation helps with that too in times, in a
So does poverty.
Yeah, it comes back. Right. I didn't want to go there, but true. And our final question is it a sustaining trend or psychic bend? Infrared saunas.
Infrared saunas. I would say my psychic read is psychic bend. I don't think that'll last forever.
Yeah, you have to have a sauna with red lights around it. Well,
Yeah.
for our bonus round, Scott, do you have any predictions you have for the health and fitness market using your psychic abilities?
I love that accent. In the market.
I know where it came from. It just came out. Thank you. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Right. Gosh, I actually feel people are becoming a lot more health conscious. And I was literally watching a documentary about this like last night. And I didn't even plan for this. And they were just saying like all these fast food chains that are closing down because a lot of it is like Taco Bell is closing down because people now have that accessibility to like authentic Mexican cuisines. They can get on like DoorDash, Grubhub. So I think people are becoming more health conscious and their fast food now is authentic food. So I actually feel a huge expansion of conscious and health awareness. So I think that's pretty.
And Mexican restaurants too.
Mexican restaurants. Well, I think your normal person that's going from fast food is going to more authentic, cuisines, and I think it's just evolving from there.
I think it's actually, that's true. You know what? I went through college on Mexican food, man. Like that's the only way I could afford it. Like seriously, you can go there and get a bean burrito last year, like half a day. You know what I mean? Like you can seriously charge up for like $3, and
it's a weight loss supplement too because it comes right out of you.
The boy does it ever. On to our next topic. Actually, we'll have the winners chosen for you in 5 to 6 years, depending on class action lawsuits and other. Right? We'll find out that. Now that we're warmed up, let's talk on to our collective read, Scott. We're going to do our collective read zodiac weather, and we may have to do a psychic round every week. We'll have to see just to get in the spirit of things. But what do you pick up on right now? We are in the sign of Aries.
Yeah.
Which is the ego in consciousness. And we're midway through, but I'll talk about mine in a minute. You tell me, what are you picking up on? What are your customers and clients saying in your Thursday night evening shows, which is tonight, by the way, guys? What are you picking up on?
Well, being that we're out of the eclipse energy, which that feels kind of relief now that we're out of eclipse energy. Aries energy, I've been noticing a trend. So I think a lot of my psychic reads is my personal reads on things, but also seeing the patterns, like you said, of my clients. I feel a lot of people like grabbing the bull by the horns, actually, figuratively speaking, because it's Aries season, not Taurus season. And I see, a lot of people who maybe didn't have the confidence to move forward are starting to do that. Clients I've been coaching or mentoring for quite some time who really, really didn't understand the self-push that they needed are starting to recognize that now. So I'm seeing a lot of that kind of zest and, motivation being, I would say resurrected within the self in the next, couple of weeks to even the month. I would say even well into even May, actually. I see a lot of this kind of movement in that sense. The first part of 2025 for me is kind of like, really resituating yourself because we purged a lot in 2024. So I really felt the movement really begins in like April, May, where we start seeing the tangible manifestations, what we've been trying to, anticipate on manifesting, and all wonderful, wonderful built-in emotional and spiritual push I feel manifesting, and this certain, next couple weeks to a month. So I feel movement, just generally speaking.
Big spiritual, but it sounds like labor, like you're in labor.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, basically.
Push, breathe. Yeah, no, I think that's true. Oh, well, it is true. I mean, the planets show, this is my conclusion with the planets, is that, we are birthing a new Earth. But I think what people didn't realize was that was birthing a new them. That, this old crotchety you, unlike our grandparents, my grandparents, like they pretty much were the same, I think, most of their lives. They kind of, they came from a very slow life and life sped up around them. And they were like, what the hell? Life sped up.
Yeah.
But for us, we have our generation who's alive on the planet now has 2 distinct chapters. And we're between them right now. This is the in between chapter, and the first chapter was, you're a hot mess. You've got lots of healing. Go do it. And so some did, most didn't. Right. Then the next chapter is, okay, we've got to fix this Earth thing, right? And that's where we are now. We got to fix this Earth thing. And I think there are many souls. I was talking about it on SeriousStory.com. Like there are many souls that have like an Atlantis timeline to pick up right now. So we're going to be picking up an Atlantis timeline. I think that's why you and I are actually on the air, Scott. I think our Atlantis friendship, and then also there are people who are star seeds who came to Earth with an agenda, got here, realized that's not going to happen, and now they want to pick up that agenda. Seriously. And star seeds since Atlantis fell. So people came migrating on the Earth as star seeds. So the planets this week are pretty interesting. I mean, first of all, last week on April, tomorrow, April 4th, Mercury retrograde will conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So this will be probably us energetically reassessing what our spiritual mission is. And that's what's happening. We're building this new ego. But remember, ego is like your action software. It's like it's going to get the job done, Mm-hmm. We're actually downloading some hardware. What do you call it? I can't remember what they call it, hardware programming. But we're downloading some new instructions for our hardware, which is our ego, to do things differently, to turn differently. It's almost like a Tesla getting its new driving instructions. We're getting new driving instructions of where we're going to drive, but we're still picking out where we want to go. As far as the soul is concerned. Now, we also tomorrow have Mars, 24 degrees, sextiling Uranus. So what happens is today really is the day where you come to realize, this is it. I think this is my destination. So it's today. And tomorrow we go, am I really open to this happening? Like, is that possible? Can we actually fucking get there? Like, can we get there? And so tomorrow you have Mars sextiling Uranus, which means, will this lead to me making money? Will this lead to me having a valuable life? We also have, at the same time, tomorrow, Mars trining Saturn. It's like, am I really committed to this? Will I really do this? So it's kind of like at the altar deciding tomorrow. Saturday, we kind of pray, ultimately, where we kind of say, okay, I'm giving it up to God. This is what's going to be. Mars, 24 degrees, trines Cancer, trines Saturn in Pisces. So that's actually when the trine happens. I think I was looking a day ahead. No, I wasn't actually. I have a different day. We have different views here. It's on Friday that happens. But long story short, it's on Sunday that ultimately we come to a decision. That's the step 17 day. And on that day, Jupiter also sextiles the sun. That means our beliefs in our heart come together. Like, so on Sunday, you figure out yes, this is it. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And then basically, as soon as that happens, literally, the sun sextiles Jupiter, which is eureka, what I want to do. Then suddenly Mercury will station direct almost immediately after. And so, boom, Mercury's direct, and we're on to the races. And when Mercury's direct, it means now we have all, downloads complete. You got all you need. And so this is time to go forward. And I think one thing I've noticed is my energy level is way higher with this new WeGo. Yeah. I'm much more positive. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, well, a little peppy, clearer, right? And I think clear because you cleared things like that resurfaced, I would say, just collectively. And so I've been feeling more of the pep coming back too, movie's coming up, so I'm excited about that. So and I think a lot of people too, I think that there's that constipation feeling that we felt for a while, when people are trying to manifest something or get things in action, they really couldn't get the tangible movement going. And so it's really kind of more the inner work to create the inner movement, that creates the external movement. So I think we can recognize that now too, that, the inner movement creates the outer movement. It's not the outer movement creates the inner movement. It's the other way around. So when we start recognizing that, I think now is the perfect time to start seeing that. Then we can understand the timing better. I think people have a difficult aspect of understanding timing. When is it going to happen? When is it going to manifest? When is my time? It's like, well, when we understand the evolution of the inner self, then we can start seeing more psychically how the outer self is expressing it and how we're actually going to take control of the outer world. So that's where we kind of be more seamless with time, as what we call synchronicity, right?
Yes, speaking of synchronicity, I think we've time to kind of, being a wizard as I am, or a wizard in training, I'll say, I look at the planets way ahead of time, and the last two Unite the Lights have been actually stationed strategically on collective conscious manifestation, if you know that. Everyone who went to Unite the Light last year said they all manifested like crazy this year. We're talking about documentary films, all sorts of things, and you were there, you felt the vibe. It was intensely high vibration. Well, that's because that's when Jupiter and the Sun conjoined, was the day we started Unite the Light. So all those intentions to Unite the Light, the people there and people watching, I'm not kidding, it was when more or two gather in my name is a manifestation. This year is the same thing. The Sun conjuncts Uranus on Unite the Light. And so those who I think are participating or whatever are going to also benefit from this, whether you're watching or you're present there. And this one is the one that's going to knock it out of the park. So when you were saying, when will it happen? It looks like May 17th and 18th is when it happens. I'm not kidding. I deliberately planned those days. Yeah. Just like 9/11, it was planned. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I was talking about figurative when people question, their own personal, when's my job gonna have the boy, all that stuff,
right.
But that, as far as
it says, it'll take till May. It could take till May 18th, 19th. Is what the astrology says. what
Yeah.
you're coming up with now, it was irrelevant what I said. What you're coming
Yeah.
up with now will take some time to gestate. Don't forget that everyone is in traffic, switching cars around, and
Yeah.
so
True.
there's a lot of traffic right now. It's like, what the fuck, like because someone's quitting. It's like we go to do something, someone quits. Oh shit, we go. You go to pop the question. She wants to move to another country with someone else. It's like, oh shit. So there's a lot of these like oh shits happening that slows things down a bit, and coagulates the flow, but it starts to speed up now. I mean, this week is the week where you finally get your directions into the map quest or whatever. Map quest, remember that? And you zoom forward. You start to zoom forward and then find yourself at a traffic light in traffic.
I agree, but we have to understand, make sure we're navigating. A lot of people don't know that they're navigating. That they're kind of like hands are off the wheel and the car's going. They're like, I don't know what's happening. So we have to make sure that we're actually navigating too. A lot of people are not navigating. They just need to navigate.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick because we're a little early on this. We're moving so fast. I guess psychic lightning rounds keep us going. What is a navigation tool for you, Scott? I mean, you're a psychic. Do you check everything with your psychic guidance counselors?
I do, but I always tend to, as a psychic, always demystifying the experience, because I really feel like self-reflection is like my navigation tool, like my emotions, how I feel, how I'm reacting. Because I always say what we react to, we relate to, both in a positive and negative aspect. So if I'm reacting negatively to something, there's something within me, it's unresolved, that is relating to that. So I always use my emotions, my reactions as a key guide of where I'm at. And I always strive to want to like make it better, or strive to want to like convert that or turn it into something magical and powerful. So I definitely would say how I feel. And I think we should all use our feelings as navigation. They're all keys. And I always say, if you want to know where you're standing, just observe everything that's standing around you. You understand, where you stand in life. So.
Well said. Now, I think that depends on a couple of things. One is if you're an emotional wreck, then you're not getting anywhere. You're going to end up in a wreck. Like so listening to your feelings is, I think, wise. I mean, I think it is. I think it's a part of the equation. I feel like you have to neutralize your feelings first of all, and not bring any baggage to the table. So I support what you say. You check your feelings, but I think at the end of the day, the last call goes to the heart. Like if your heart doesn't light up, the answer is no, or not yet. And I mean light up. I mean excited, thinking about it. Creativity comes up. That's what we're aiming for, a serious joy. We're fucking seriously joyful about this. If there's a glimpse of like excitement, if you have anything where it's like, if there's any meh, the answer is no. Like your heart is not into it. Now, you can't get an answer from your heart either if your feelings are all screwed up and scrambled. Like if they're screwed and scrambled, you got to work. That's why people have to work through it. They got to talk about it, get it off their chest.
Clean the clutter. Got to clean that clutter out. Daily, yes. And that's why being aware, like how am I reacting is important. That helps to do that. But a lot of people think we say follow excitement, because I know Bashar always says, follow your excitement, follow your excitement. And it's like people think excitement means that you're doing naked cartwheels down the street. It's like, no, excitement means you're engaged. Like if you're like really into a book, that's excitement too. If you're hyper focused on something and inquisitive, that's excitement too. So I don't want people to think excitement is just one modality. Like, sometimes excitement is just being really focused on something.
That's very Kermit the Frog. No, yeah. No, I agree. Actually, excitement is I can't wait to get started. That's really and that's it. You have the energy to do it. Some people are like, I don't know, I gotta go do. If you don't have energy to come to you naturally, people tell me your plate's too full, you work too much. I'm like, I fucking love it. It's a drug.
I know.
Addict. I love the joy. Like I love it. I love it. But if you tell me I gotta go work on my taxes, I'm like, oh fuck. You're just like deflates. I'm just like, fuck. I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go to bed. Kind of thing. So, doing the temperature of your own, I think, energy level is super important too. So, y'all check your temperatures and figure out where the fuck you are going, because what happens is, I mean, we talk about this. We'll talk about this in Unite the Light. We'll give you tools to Unite the Light. It's going to explode over the summer. I mean, explode. All right. What I mean is just, I've never seen this much pressure. We literally are, our team every Monday we meet and we look at the planets, and we're slowly starting to freak out as we move through the summer. So that's a little tease for you. So that said, Scott, a lot going on.
FOMO. I'm getting FOMO here because I can't make it this year. So I'm getting FOMO.
Oh no, that's not necessarily true yet. I don't believe that. I have plans.
We'll talk later. Okay.
Yeah, we will talk later. We'll negotiate later, actually.
People don't know I'm in the middle of a major move out of state, so it's very costly, very timely, and very reorganizing. So it's one of those.
That's why we have 3 women from Oklahoma are going to pay for your trip. No, I was kidding. We just got to sleep with them, Scott. Do your best.
Oh Jesus Christ!
No.
Dude looks like a lady. Yeah, but we'll figure that. But yeah, May again. It's a very powerful month this year. I mean, usually a lot of Mays are, but this month I've been predicting this like for the past couple years in readings. I kept saying May of 2025, May of 2025 for a lot of people. So It's great
It
energy.
is. Oh yeah, it's there. It's there. Well, it's very fertile. Tauruses are responsible for actually manifesting the change of society.
Yeah.
That's their job. Tauruses have Pisces in the 11th house. Taurus is actually the ones that go, all right, you assholes, you're going to jail. Like they're the ones that actually organize values in culture,
Right.
the values of
Right.
culture. So
Hmm.
we happen to be on stage right now, to do it, right? So
Yep.
it's interesting that happens. So in Taurus, has been happening and happening. Very exciting. And well, I could talk and talk, but we really should go on to talk about what you have to say, Scott, about your work and what you do. Do you think we have a commercial? Do you have a lead in? I don't know.
Well, talk about navigation and knowing where you feel, what you react to, relate to. A lot of times that stuff is unconscious and you don't know what you react to. You don't know where it stems from. So, of course, you go to a psychic to figure that stuff out. But it's more just being a psychic reading. I could dive into more of what's going on in your health. We're going to get into that actually today about the topic of food and health and nutrition. So, I'm a health medium as well. So, you can book a live reading with me at scottcruiserpm.com. Mediumship sessions, you want to tap into someone who's crossed over that too, or intuition builder, tap into your own abilities. I believe that those of us who are light workers become more aware. We actually affect the planet too. And we get into other aspects of careers that we can bring change. So scottcruiserpm.com for any type of reading. You can see the list of all the different types of sessions I offer. But to help navigate, I'll help you to understand where you're at in your trajectory and how to reorganize your future trajectory too.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing
There it is.
one-on-one
Oh.
readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruiserpm.com to book your own personal session today.
Okay, Scott, it didn't work. I tried my best. My joke was going to be like, come alive. It's like, I just keep always see like guy in CPR doing CPR in that song. Like, come alive, come alive. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Are you on silent? I hope not. You're kind of quiet. Check your mute. Make sure
Wait,
you're
wait,
not mute.
yeah, that's what. Oh, yeah, I mute myself during the promos. Yeah, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those little, what do they call those
Yeah,
things? They
just
put those things.
clear. Come alive, come alive.
Yeah.
You three nurses like
Okay.
singing it together outside of you. Yeah, so yeah, we got an important topic today. We're going to talk about, in America especially, Americans are getting poisoned by our food. We are. I can't tell you how many people have told me they go abroad and they're like, the food tastes different. You mean it's food?
Oh, right,
I
right.
can't tell you how many people come here. It's like, America. Oh, but the food.
No
They're like,
taste. Yeah. I was
horrible.
thinking, a guy I met over here, like one of my neighbors that I used to live from Switzerland, and he's like, he comes here like the fruit. He's like, the fruit doesn't have flavor. He's like, you
Yes.
go, the fruit doesn't have flavor, and so yeah. I mean, even just and we compare, American ingredients of like the same product to European ingredients. We have all this crap. They have like 3 or 4, similar ingredients. So yeah, it's definitely America has a crisis.
Totally. You bring up a good point. This is on like, I follow like Food Babe. She's one of the food people.
Yeah.
That's on top of it. She's like doing all the label testing and stuff. And she'll show you like, Aunt Jemima here, Aunt Jemima there. Now it's like, and she's not Aunt Jemima anymore. I don't know what she is, but basically like, in each one, and it's like literally Europe is like 2 ingredients. Us is like, whoop. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, you fuckers obviously know how to manufacture with less. You obviously know how. You're sending it to Europe this way. Right. So who knows? Maybe the tariff wars will force us to die of our own food because the only nutritious thing we're getting from outside the country, right? But
Right.
it's pretty intense and scary. And really, honestly, I don't know about you, but I have all my friends, and I have my friend Gary who does Human Garage. People are talking about how eating less is feeling better. They feel better eating less, and I'm like,
True.
maybe it's just the freaking food that makes us feel better for not eating less. This is like, but I'm going to point like salads and easy stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just more just balance because I feel like people, if you like, when you take too much vitamins, you just kind of pee it out. I would feel like if you're eating good food, you just kind of crap it out. You know what I'm saying? If you have too much, you crap it out. But if we're holding on to things, there's a reason. Like all that synthetic food, the chemicals, the processed stuff, the hydrogenated oils, because a lot of things are made with hydrogenated oils, which is a polyunsaturated fat, which causes inflammation. It causes us to hold on and store fat. It raises our cortisol levels. All these things that create so much, it fucks the chemistry up in our bodies. And I think that we have to be very aware of that, because when I do eat healthy foods, all I eat. And when I do, then it's like I can have a lot, not get fat or bloated. I just kind of I purge of it just like I would if I had extra vitamins and so forth. So we got to start thinking about ourselves. Why are we holding on to the food? But a lot of people have not so much food problems, they have emotional issues that they, of course, we'll get into this later, about how they're overcome with so much emotional weight, they actually express it through their foods and so forth. So, anxiety attracts anxiety.
And the food's adding and abetting to that fucking fat too. I mean, you just look at a picture of us in the 70s. I saw a picture on the internet. It's like America in the 70s is like a shot on the beach. Everyone looked amazing. Like everyone had abs. Like Jesus, and they ate like pigs. Like there's 70s is all about the what do you call it, the buffet. Like buffet was huge in the 70s. Buffet here, the buffet there, all you can eat buffet in Vegas, and we're skinny as rails. Okay, but what happened? I heard what happened is, when they went after the cigarette industry was employing all these mad scientists, probably from Operation Paperclip, that were finding things to put in the cigarettes to make you addicted. So they were coming up and testing addictive qualities, like literally trying to put addiction into cigarettes, right? Which is part of the reason why people are dying of cancer. Well, as soon as class actions went down and Marlboro had to pay, those men, and most men, there weren't women that did this, I'm sure of it, went to the food industry. And they the food industry and started working with addictions. And I'll tell you what it is right now. All natural flavors, or what's the other term? There's something about all. It's in the flavors. That's the poison's in the flavors, because you don't have to say what's in the natural flavors. You say it just says natural flavors. And even say natural. Natural meaning like you found it on Earth. It wasn't fucking on Pluto. Like,
well, it's flavor chemists. Yeah, because they're flavor chemists. What they do is they go in nature. I saw a show about it. They go in nature and they try to emulate these flavors. And they said to make it more addicting. So the flavors is what makes it addicting. And then you have all the processed shit that you're consuming, right? That's synthetic as well. And even back in the 70s, McDonald's or French fries just had potatoes, beef tallow, and salt. And beef tallow is used to fry things in, which is, of course, beef fat, which is also the body can process that. But now all these synthetic oils, there's like, I think 18 ingredients now in the fries. So yeah, they definitely changed a lot. Like you said, a lot of it's for money purposes. A lot of it's for, I think there's some conspiracy about wanting to keep people sick too. And dependent,
I do too. There's some Rockefeller shit in there. That's right, Rockefeller.
Yeah. I know. Don't get into Rockefeller again.
I told people, you're like, you were so mad on that show. I'm like, because I brought up Rockefeller. I hate that motherfucker. I call him. You're like, dude, I was mad at Rockefeller. I wasn't mad at you.
Yeah, you called me. I know. You're like, Scott, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Rockefellers. I'm like, I get it. It's cool.
Fucker. I think he's like my arch enemy. Like every lifetime, I'm like Rockefeller. Like,
probably.
I gotta rock that feller. So. Let's figure out some of these things. Hey, don't get triggered. They're like, calm me down. There's like PAs right now fanning me off camera. All right, we're calm. Calm blue ocean. All right, pesticides. Pesticides. Like, what the fuck, right? The U.S. is one of the largest pesticide users in the world, with over 1 billion pounds of pesticides used annually. And food's been around for 26 billion years without pesticides. Just saying. Right. Glyphosate, all right, which we all know, also known as Roundup, okay, which of course is now owned by the Bayer aspirin company in Germany, the same company that I heard, I don't know if it's true, made the gas for Hitler for the goddamn concentration camps. Like Bayer made the gas that killed the Jews. It killed Jewish people. So yes, let's all go buy some Bayer aspirin right now.
Right.
Let's all support them. Come on, keep them alive. They deserve it.
Right.
But they actually own. They bought. Actually, it's so funny. They bought. Is it what is the owner of Roundup? I can't remember now. Monsanto. I
was just saying Monsanto. Yeah, that's kind of my mind. Yep, Monsanto.
And I personally believe, here's what I believe. I think, first of all, we ought to have a label passed by Congress. It's either non-Santo or Monsanto. I think we should have a new term, non-Santo, hashtag non-Santo. And I think we should all be non-Santo. We should never fucking support that company. And from what I understand, they were the manufacturers of DDT.
Yeah.
They made DDT, where they literally have things like clouds spraying on kids, which is a fucked up commercial. Like, we have inhaler medicine. We don't have commercials now where we spray inhaler medicine on kids. Or that was a fucked up commercial anyway. I was like, what the fuck? And my grandma didn't think twice about it. Like, oh, that's cute. It's like they're proving how safe it is. Like, we would never do this to people knowing it was bad. So DDT got out. Again, like the cigarette companies, DDT got outlawed, and they're like, oh, we need a new product. Glyphosate. And so they came up with new glyphosate, and also, which is a herbicide. Now, the crazy thing, the reason why we have GMOs is because we've got to protect the herbicide means kills plants,
Right.
Fratricide, kill your brother, herbicide, kill your plants. So it kills plants, but there's some plants we don't want to kill, our food.
Right.
And what they said was, we'll genetically alter the food so that it doesn't actually get killed by our chemical. And that's where GMOs come from. GMOs do not come from what I understand, primarily from wanting more food crop. There's like, this is we have more yield and they're resistant to disease. No, they're resistant to fucking glyphosate. That's it.
Right.
That's what GMOs are. So everyone's like, GMOs. It's like, dude, it's resistant to a chemical. It's like all these comic books are like Spider-Man gets bit by a spider. Where do you think that shit happens from? It's like this
yeah. But what do you think that's in the skies? They have glyphosate in the skies. I mean, that's also, we can be eating organic, and we have to be even careful about organic too, because
we
the
do.
soil, what kind of soil's it in, and also what we have in our skies. The air quality is horrible, and so there's we call it cloud seeding chemtrails. We don't even call it, but geoengineering. I looked up on ChatGPT. I'm like, cloud seeding. What is cloud seeding geoengineering? They say where they spray to alter the weather, and I say, what are chemtrails? They go, that's a conspiracy theory. But isn't chemtrails the same thing as spraying the skies in order to alter the weather? And it's like, and it glitches, because we could say chemtrails and we're like, no, it's a conspiracy. But cloud seeding, geoengineering, all that stuff is okay, right? And so there are a lot. Since I've been out in Palm Springs for the past 5 years, open skies, right? I'd see a clear crystal day, right? Clear, and I just see these lines in the sky drawing X's. I'm like, that's odd. And then an hour or two later, the sky is covered with this blue film and haze. And I've noticed that. So I'm like, I don't know if I bought into the chemtrail conspiracy theory until I started seeing this. And then my body would start aching. I start getting a headache, right? People's moods start changing, right? And so I'm wearing purple for a reason, because Prince was a big advocate about talking about this, actually. And then he got murdered. So we have to be careful about our air quality. And that's a major reason, Christopher, why I'm moving too. The air quality here is just bad on my allergies now. And I'm, people wonder why they have so many allergies all the time, right? Which also puts the pharmaceutical, algae medicines in business. So there's a lot of intentional, I would say, dis-ease that is being created here. And so, but yeah, I think if we organic, we're also getting the stuff from that they're spraying.
No, 100. Oh no, 1,000,000%. And I have to stay here in Palm Springs because I love it. I'm just gonna have to carry around an oxygen tank. It's something I've decided to do. But beyond that,
most of the people here are doing that anyway. So
it is. I'll fit right in. Like, he looks good for 75. He looks good. But like, yeah, no, I agree. I can't believe. I don't know. I can't believe we tolerate. I honestly think. We should pass a law that's like, if you see a chemtrail, you have the right to launch a missile launcher and just bring that fucker down. Like, I think, like, bring it down.
Right. And here's the thing too, Christopher. They create the war on things that are not the war. So like the war on fat, the war on carbs, the war on sugar. It's like, it's the process stuff.
Right.
It's not the fat, carbs. We need all that. We need the balance of that. It's the kinds of. So they create a problem, they create a solution. Then they have all this sugar-free stuff with like aspartame, right? Aspartame, which is, creates neurological illnesses, right? And all these synthetic oils. Remember, I can't believe it's not butter. Remember that stuff? With all the hydrogenated oils, and that was supposed to be healthier than butter. It's like, and it wasn't. So they create all these other solutions.
Butter's better for you. It's milk, it's actual animals and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So people were on this with the keto thing, as I did. We're so like anti-sugar, like no fruits, sugar's bad for you. It's like, no, we need the earth gave us fruit. The earth gave us the natural sugars that we do need for our system. So we have to find that balance of such. So they've created this agenda that we have to like fight against carbs and fat, and that's a demon. It's like, no, it's the processed stuff and the foods that they're making is we should have a war on, not the carbs, fat, and sugar thing. Which I
100% agree. I think we have to. I'm not sure what the solution is. I mean, that's something we're talking about at Unite the Light. Actually, I will say that we are having a panel around this topic. I'm not going to announce it yet because the panel is going to blow your mind. But I'm going to wait for that because we have to wait for signs and contracts and things. But we're going to talk about this heavily because it's like, it's at a point now where it's like, y'all, why don't we do something about this? You know what I mean? like we the people are not doing shit about it. We just keep buying the shit.
Right.
And like kids are eating off, living off of Taco Shell and all that stuff. All owned by PepsiCo, which is sugar water that started as cocaine. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're embarrassed. And the problem is, here's the only thing: farmers market. That's your only solution. Farmers market. That's the only solution. And then you got to talk to the farmer. Are you glyphosate fucker? Are you like? But the farmer's right there. Like, hey fucker, are you using? Hello, sir. Are you using glyphosate? Are you doing this? And they're evil too, by the way, Monsanto. Like, what happens is they try to put farms out of business. So they have, these contracted farms that have to use the glyphosate or whatever, and have to use the because they have special magic seeds that end up being anti-glyphosate. What happens is the pollen stuff that it blows across the road, it picks up in the air, and then other farms who are non-Monsanto, hashtag non-Monsanto farms then end up growing the crops. Monsanto shows up, does stuff, says, "Oh, you're stealing our seeds," and they sue that farm out of business, which is already struggling as it is. The food industry is effed up in such a huge way, but
that's the voice of war on the crisis in war food, because if they can somehow get to a where they geo and engineer the food instead of having to be naturally grown, then they control the full food market. I mean, if you look at all the fast food chains, they're all, stemming from one corporation owns all these fast food chains. It's one major company. So if they can find ways to geo-engineer food and take control of food, we're screwed. That's why I think it's time for us to start becoming more self-sustaining. Getting your own gardens, getting your own, somehow getting your own chickens. I know people. Some of my friends are doing that already.
I know. Getting chickens is popular now. You're like roosters in like neighborhoods, like city neighborhoods. What the fuck? No, seriously. Like, what the fuck? I'm in the city.
You're in the middle of New York City. Where's that freaking coming from?
Yeah, no, it's true. I've had friends who were doing their own eggs for a long time, and they sell them, organic eggs.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. It's not just that. It's the grocery stores have all come down to like two chains. It's Kroger and Walmart. That own the entire food industry. So, y'all, COVID was a lie. There wasn't a food chain. We didn't have problems creating eggs all of a sudden. We don't have problems creating eggs now. They're like bird flu. Oh, that's another invented illness that now affects birds. It affects the food. It affects one of the most nutritious things you can have is an egg. Apparently, eggs have so many vitamins, minerals, and whatnot. I know it's just the fetus of a baby, but here's the truth: is I think whenever God has a one-to-many birth rate, like fish and chicken, like we have many eggs coming out, many babies, it's meant because God knew it's going to be eaten. Like that's why there's many, right? We have one child at a time, right? We're not meant to eat us. Tell that to Rockefeller too. We're not meant to eat babies. Right? But that said, I think it's okay. But eggs, why are eggs so expensive? Why are these things different foods suddenly more expensive when they were just fine? We're being literally just like, well, we can have that soda for 99 cents, but milk $9.99. Right.
Yep. I make sure I have to have eggs every morning. That's my good, healthy sense of protein. There's so much nutrients in that. And then they used to tell us like, oh, just have the, egg whites. All the good stuff is in the yolk. Even people brainwashed about that. Don't eat the yolk. And it's like, no, I mean, that's all needed. So again, as we know, Christopher, the sicker we are, the more we follow orders, the more we kind of are in regulation to what they want. So if we're healthy, we're sharp, we're spiritual, and we're in tune, then we overturn the power and the control. So
otherwise it's come alive, right?
To the country.
Our director Adam says, too bad farmers markets sell one potato for $50. Honestly, in defense of the farmer, Adam, I know it is outrageously expensive. He's being charged a shitload for fertilizer now. They are effing up the fertilizer. They can't get fertilizer, which is basically shit if you don't know. You know what I mean? There's laws around what fertilizer you can use. Where'd that come from? But fertilizer is actually where, just watch the money, y'all. The purchasing of fertilizer plants, all sorts of stuff, they are deliberately squashing the ingredients that go into fertilizer to shorten the food industry. Why is Bill Gates buying farmland? He doesn't know shit about anything natural. Why is he buying farmland? Why are these people buying farmland? Why?
You're software developers, but I would say the one thing we need to we can offset this. So a lot of people are like, well, what do we do? And it's like, well, how do we eat? It's like, well, you have to understand, one, grow your own food as much as you can. If you can't, definitely find organic and find a farm. Thankfully in California, we have a lot of local farms that give us eggs and food and stuff like that we can tap into. Yeah. But I always say, fermented foods, we used to ferment foods back in the day. Yeah. So I would recommend definitely start fermenting your foods if you just to begin, I would say. And that's one thing I always find too with the issue between wheat here and wheat in Italy and so forth. Things are just made with so much hydrogenated oils here that in Italy they ferment their foods. And so that's why a lot of friends go to Italy to eat all this pasta and they're like, I lost weight. I said, well, yeah, because
I know. Apparently that's what happens in Italy. You can eat pasta and lose weight.
Yeah.
Because pasta, man. What? Wheat is dried out by glyphosate. They actually, to dry wheat out faster, after it's already grown and mature, they spray it with glyphosate.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are you effing kidding me? Because you can't wait an extra week, motherfucker?
Right.
Seriously?
So the issue is not wheat; it's what how they process wheat here in America is the problem. You know,
Well,
I was like, oh,
first
like
with glyphosate,
anti-bread.
nice,
Yeah.
glazed, glazed with, like a donut glazed with glyphosate. Yeah,
And
and then,
the hydrogenated oils. It's just the hydrogenated oils are to me what causes a lot of like blood clotting, heart
yes,
disease,
yes,
cognitive function
right,
decline, and so
right,
those hydrogenated oils are so bad for you. And that's what fast food stuff is fried in.
right.
You know, gain
Now,
weight.
so we don't get banned anywhere. We are not scientists. We have not done any studies here. We
My
talk to
opinion.
people. We talk
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna take
people.
it.
We
Yeah.
talk to everybody, and everyone I'm talking to is saying this, and that's it.
Right.
Everyone I'm talking to is saying this. So, y'all, that'll be my ultimate statement. Now,
Well, it's
processed foods are
also from experience too, because my family is nutritionists, and so like I've been my whole life looking at these things and experiencing. So this is my experience. I'll just say that.
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
psychic. Try to sue me.
I talk to everybody. It's not scientific, but my memory is, fading still. I talk to everybody. And this, I'm a public figure and I talk to people. So that's my defense.
There it is.
Processed are also crazy. Daiki backstage says farmer corporations that hoard water to grow luxury crops instead of nutrition-rich crops and less watering needing crops. You know what? You're talking about the almonds, okay? Almond milk. I found out that almonds take up so much water to make an almond. And
Oh yeah,
almond milk? Oh, geez. I felt
and
like,
pistachios.
I know. Pistachio milk? I've never tried that. I was kidding.
I'm saying the same thing with pistachios.
Oh, yeah.
In that sense.
Gotcha. That's a joke. So, yeah, I've never, yeah. So these are, so what happens in California, California being, a state where Newsom raises taxes every morning, you know what I mean? Like ultimately, these farmers are going for richer and richer yields, so it's like, it's a trickle down nightmare. Right. And I think what happens is, we used to, I guess California used to grow produce. That's what I hear. That's what
Yeah.
I heard Orange County comes from the fact they used to grow oranges there. Really?
Mhm.
But that's probably almonds, you know what I mean? Because they make more money.
Mhm.
And it just tastes like shit these days. Oh my God.
Mhm.
As a kid, I was like, I thought these just taste good. Now they don't. But so there's that. There's also processed food. We have to talk about that. 58% of the calories in an American diet, 58%. Now about Scott. Scott, I want our percentages for you, are from ultra processed foods. Okay. Now, gluten. So that's a huge thing. We'll go into gluten here in a minute. We'll go formally. So ultra processed foods. That means basically everything in the middle of the grocery store. So
Yeah.
anything that's refrigerated is on the outside. Anything that's refrigerated means it could go bad. Going bad means it's actually organic. Right? Like, if it can go
Sure.
bad, that means it was alive. It means it's slowly dying. That's why it has to be refrigerated, because it's slowly dying. Right?
Yeah.
And I believe in life force. I mean, I try to eat a salad every day, if not two. I mean, not kidding. That's a salad and meat, a little protein. That's pretty much my diet. And the life force of eating something that was just alive not too long ago. There's spiritual life force in that food. I really do.
Yeah,
And-
of course. I mean, and I'm to me, fruits too have so much energy and nutrient. They're nutrient dense. Like I love citrus fruits. I will eat like 5 oranges in a sitting. I love mangoes and love grapes too. Grapes to me are superfoods. And so, I always say to be a conscious eater. So you remember you talk about conscious capitalism. I always say conscious eater, because understand, what are you eating? What is your body craving? And so most of the times, if there's a processed food that you're craving, look behind at what it really is and like go a different direction. Because I tell people it's not far of a stretch. If you want a burger and fries, you get your own Ninja Grill, put your own burger on there, get your own grass-fed, beef, and get your own like healthy organic cheese. Slice up your own potatoes, dump them in some olive oil or some coconut oil, and fry up your fries, and you can have the same satiating feeling of that junk food, but in a healthier way. I do that all the time. I do it all the time. I make my own burgers and fries. I make my own empanadas. I do it all with really good ingredients that I make for myself. So I think the problem is, Christopher, is laziness. People just want it served. They don't have the time to do it right. A lot of it is a time thing. I'm like, I don't care. I will wake up an extra hour early to make sure I have my food, made, because that's my fuel. That's my fuel. That's our fuel. So
I don't disagree. As a man who doesn't have the time, I really don't. I mean, I'm not a good example, but people are working more.
Yeah,
like
well,
they're having to take care of their kids and homeschool their kids. I think because the economy is, I guess, flopping. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's, but still, nonetheless, people have to work more. People don't have time. Like our time is being eaten up by our jobs, right, and all those types of things.
that's the problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. It's a big issue. Another thing is the gluten. We talked about glyphosate, but wheat gluten difference in bread and pasta in other countries than us. U.S. wheat has higher gluten because of dwarf wheat varieties genetically engineered for higher crop yields. Okay, so we took the wheat into a lab and we made it crazy. Italy uses softer wheat varieties with lower gluten content, like durum wheat. Interesting. Italy.
Yep.
Too bad their economy is crashing. American bread contains additives and preservatives like dough conditioners and added sugars. I actually found out there's an additive in bread that you can find. Apparently, it's in Subway bread. It's the same additive they put in yoga mats. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
There was a point when Subway. There was a point where some organization, it was, told Subway, that's not technically bread. What the fuck is it then?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like Play-Doh. We're eating Play-Doh. I don't know. Bread in Italy is typically made with just flour, wheat, yeast, and salt. That's what we should do. Maybe, so what should we do, people? I mean, I want to talk about leading out loud. Like, I think we need to pass laws that limits the amount of ingredients. Like, these are ingredients that has to be in bread, and these are the only ingredients you can put in bread, period. No,
I'll tell you this: they're out there though. I'll tell you this: there's a lot out there. Anything I buy, I read the ingredients. Even if I buy it all the time, I still double check to make sure they dumped something in eventually, or if it's got hijacked. So I know, like now, Bragg's apple cider vinegar is being hijacked by Katy Perry, and
Bill Gates. Yeah. Okay.
So
you can't get Bragg's anymore. God damn it.
Right. But I find people have no excuse. There are a lot of options. I mean, I just made some chicken tenders made out of just 3 ingredients, you know what I'm saying? And so they're out there. I think, the good things, we do have companies that are making this for us. So if you look, you can find it. I don't think people are looking,
Not even that. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. So you talk about organic vegetables not being very, very organic. Well, the USDA, those great people, they were like saying for organic farmers, you've got to scrub all your floors and all your platforms with bleach to be organic. So they forced chemicals into the organic food process to have the organic label. God damn it, or as God would say, me damn it. Like, that is bullshit, and why that happens. Now, I'm back on the bread here. Traditional bread uses slow fermentation processes, which broke down gluten in most cases. So the slow process broke down the gluten. U.S. bread is mass-produced with fast-rising yeast. Fast-rising yeast is kind of dangerous. Imagine a fast-rising yeast infection. That'd be dangerous. Right. Which doesn't break down gluten, right? It's like, literally he leaves the bed, he's like, fuck!
But that's what I'm saying about, like, fermented. They ferment a lot of their doughs, actually. That's sourdough is a good bread, or even like sprouted wheat. If you're looking for bread in America, sprouted wheat is a great choice for you too, as well. Yes. And again, the hydrogenated oils. I'm going to say it again. A lot of them they put that in almost everything, which is a huge issue.
Those are. I wonder if that's one of our topics. I haven't gotten far enough in the script, but U.S. wheat production does use the glyphosate, which sprays it on there, and they say it contributes to gluten sensitivity. Here's why: glyphosate shuts down your digestive tract, y'all. Kills the bacteria in your digestive tract. It shuts you down, which, by the way, is your biggest immune system, your digestive tract. So now it's like you used to take 3 vitamins a day. I'm taking 3 billion apart, live cells a day. What do you call it? I'm constantly trying to refertilize my gut, because everything I'm eating is killing it, right? Antibiotics is killing your gut. Glyphosate is killing your gut. Processed foods killing your gut. Really, it's really a war on your gut.
I'd say the gut is the nucleus of everything. People think the immune system's like your gut is first, which extends to the immune system, which extends to the rest of your body. So if your gut's out of whack, you're out of whack.
No, totally.
The gut is so massively important, especially how you're digesting and that. Just think if all your gears are being, exhausted and all your nutrients being depleted to fend off a toxic, processed food that you're eating, everything else started to deteriorate in itself too, and just create more inflammation. Then your body's in fight or flight mode because it's in stress mode, trying to fight against that, the toxic foods. So your cortisol level rise, you gain weight. It's a disaster. So you want good health, you better check your gut. I tell people.
No, don't check your gut. Check your toilet. You know what? I'm going to get gross here, but if your poop don't float, you got problems. Poop is supposed to float. Did you know that? Poop is supposed to float. It's supposed to float because it's releasing gases, because it's got stuff in there that's killing stuff off. If your if your poop drops to the bottom of the toilet,
But they also say the odor too. It's not supposed to smell like a dead carcass. That's a major problem of intestinal gut rot.
Oh, you know what? Because I thought it was the reverse. I thought, like, when it doesn't smell, it's been chemicals. When it does smell, I'm eating good. I don't know.
No, the horrible smell. Like if the odor smells like what you ate, then you pretty much have a good digestive tract. Because sometimes I go, I'm like,
smell the strawberries in the poop? No.
Yeah,
really?
yeah. Usually, if I had like, it smells like what it's means that you're processing it effectively. It's not there's not so much contamination within your gut, but but those, you ever go to like a mall bathroom and some like big dude comes out there, it smells like a dead carcass. There's something right in there.
You're right. That dude's not eating. He's eating Taco Bell. He's not eating. Taco
Hell for sure.
Yeah. Run to the border. Another issue for us having problems, lack of walkability. Our cities are designed for cars and minimum walking. That's so true. And we walk even less now that we have phones on, in our hands, and we're watching. I know. I do love to walk. In fact, I have to actually schedule a walk every day. I got to schedule it. Right? You know what I mean? Like, because my day doesn't go that way. And then of course there's Ozempic and Big Pharma. Ozempic. I can't remember this. I can't know how it goes, but this is funny.
Ozempic, right?
Yeah.
And they hijacked that song for that.
Oh my God! I know. I'm sure you're a musician. How would you feel about that?
Cringe. I was cringe. I
Stay
cringed.
alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Yeah, right? Stay alive.
Be alive. I can't remember your lyrics are. That's so funny. Yeah. Well, you'd be like 60, you're like 65, sitting in a chair, and it's like the latest drug is using that song.
Right, I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, like,
I'm making millions.
You wanted that mansion when you were 50, and you sold all your collection.
I wouldn't. I still wouldn't for morale purpose. I wouldn't. I say keep the money.
Don't you have to actually shoot yourself you have to give yourself a shot in the stomach, don't you? For that.
I don't know if it's stomach. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at. But a lot of people
we're injecting ourselves alone is like what? Like what?
I know. But a lot of people are not recovering from the Ozempic. A lot of people are actually. Mm-hmm. They can't put weight back on, or they're having issues where they're just now stuck that way and they can't hold on. So I mean, what do you expect? Of course,
At this point, folks. I mean, God, most people I know who are like Jedi light walkers, they don't even take aspirin. I'm like, you're a Jedi. You're a Jedi.
I can't, dude. If it's bad, my parents are the same. It has to be so bad that I can't function. I have to work. Otherwise, I'm like, I'll ride it out. I'll do what I have to do. But I don't like to take anything. My parents, I told you, this. My parents have not been on one medication their whole life. No, and they still hike up and down mountains. They eat all the foods. Yeah. Not one medication. My dad's 73. My mom's 68. Not one medication. Not one of them.
Your parents are the last real people left on the planet, actually. What? They're the last real people left on the planet. Like that's it. That's it. It's just your parents. They're like, we got to put them in. Like, we got to bring them on sometime. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, my mom would be great to talk to about this stuff too. She's a huge, nutrition freak.
My mom would terrify you when she goes down to one of her rabbit holes. We say right now. Approximately 12% of the U.S. adults have used GLP-1s, and 6% are currently using them. What are GLP-1s? I don't even know those.
GLP. I'm not familiar with that. Does anyone know in the audience?
Heart stuff? I don't know. Erica, tell us on the break. We need to know what that is. You got to educate us. We're idiots. We know stuff that's not me. So I guess this is going to be my plug here. The Diamond 8 Club. Hey guys, I have a special program where, over the years of doing readings, I mean, I've done over, 15 or 20,000 readings. I'm not kidding. You lose track after 10,000. You start to get annoyed because you can't help the person enough. You only have one reading. You come back in maybe 6 months. They don't want to spend the money to come back, or I'm too booked or whatever. And so out of that frustration, I built the Diamond 8 Club, which is basically a 6-month program where I will read you for 6 months. Every month, I coach you on manifesting what you want to do. What I am is a manifestation expert. And that's what I've learned. I got the code down to how to manifest and looking at a chart. So I diagnose, like, where's the situation, where are you mismanifesting? And then month by month for 6 months, we go at it. And my diamonds climb, climb, climb. Now, there's a lot of clearing that has to be done. Sometimes people have to heal from a wound. Some people have to heal from an addiction. It's not just manifestation of diamonds, but these are diamonds. These are rare, unique jewels who are ready to invest themselves. And this is a rare opportunity. I only hold so many seats for this. I keep my time regulated. I give you my full brilliance, and I also open up my whole Rolodex to you. So when you're a diamond, you have access to Scott. You have access to all these people that I know. I'm constantly referring like crazy to the best of the best of the best. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see people succeed. I want to see people, I want the good to win, God damn it. And I want them to go far and do better than Bill Gates and, Mariah Carey, but I know you. What her name is. So that said, if you guys are interested, I now have seats open because I've had diamonds who have graduated and moving on to their success. You can just go to senseiChristopher.com and you can book now. Okay.
Come on, guys. Yeah. Don't be Mariah Carey. Sign up for Diamond Eggs.
Yeah. No, seriously. Well, I know they've all been. Yeah.
So really quickly though, GLPs is a hormone that your gut creates when you eat. So what Ozempic does is increases the amount of GLP, so you feel less full. That's why. So
less full. Yeah. Oh shit.
So you feel more full. Excuse me. So it prevents you from wanting to eat more. So it creates more of that GLP hormone.
Oh wait, it's a medicine they're taking to feel full?
Yeah, so basically the GLPs is a thing that where again your gut naturally creates that when you eat, so you feel full, right?
Oh, okay.
So Ozempic, it does that. It increases the
Oh,
GLPs, so you feel full. You don't eat as much.
it's
So
just
now
spraying
now
glyphosate into
now
your intestines, basically. It's
now
just
if you're
like,
having Ozempic and then your body just stops creating some GLPs and you never feel hungry at all, then you don't eat at all, then you freaking stay emaciated. So so you
you know
guys should
what?
be chewing on that diamond egg for serious joy.
You should be. I like coffee. Coffee works, man. A, it's a diuretic. I'm constantly losing weight. Secondly, I'm never hungry. I'm never hungry because I'm always drinking this shit.
I
It's so
can't. Yeah,
good.
it's a laxative.
Of course, it's organic coffee. You can't do anything. The mold on coffee gets you high. Starbucks has a certain mold, like blah 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 blah. I mean, everything is polluted, guys. Everything. Well, what the fuck can we do about it? That's the next question. Let's get to the how can you take care of your body better. First of all, healthy foods. So I think we've gone over that. Organic, and we've talked about that too. Organic is, of course, food coming mostly from a farm. A farm that a farmer that a farmer that knows you would show up in the night and hurt them if you didn't do the right thing. What I mean? That kind of personal relationship with the creator, the supplier, is a good thing. The next topic is probably one that Scott's better at: movement. Scott, you move a lot.
Movement, yes.
Like
But
every
the
single year.
thing But the thing is, like, yes, there's a contamination, but our body can fight against that. If we're not overloading the system so much, then any little chemicals that we're getting in our organic foods, we can kind of we can maneuver around. The body's very tough. It's very strong. It can adapt. And so I'm just saying, don't overload the system so much. And if you're finding the organic foods, it may not be so clean, okay, fine, but your body will adapt and it'll still preserve the nutrients you're getting from the organic foods too. So I would tell people, because a lot of people say that we can't really eat anything. It's like we can. The body's good at purging as long as we understand what we're doing and the chemistry within our bodies of what to consume and not to consume, and being intuitive and a conscious eater. That's the solution for me. Because even though I don't have any health issues, and I eat very well and I maneuver around things that are shitty, and sometimes I don't get organic all the time because it's not accessible to me, but my body still does well. So just little changes can make a whole lot of difference. I think people think they have to reconstruct everything. It's like, no, a little bacteria too helps us to build immunity to things. And so don't be so scared too that you might be having little pesticides here and there if you can't find anything else. I said, as long as you get in the core of the nutrients that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, honestly, I'll be admission, like when I went down for 11 months, I was batshit crazy and walking around in my house. All I was doing is I was with TV dinners. So I used to eat organic salad every day for I swear to God, organic salad. I say it's so healthy. I had to eat TV dinners. I have it delivered to the house. I couldn't pick out the vegetables for myself. I was paranoid about everything. I was paranoid it wasn't, organic. So I ate that. Then after I did that, I came and I moved to here, Palm Springs. And I got to tell you, the food here is not good. Like the restaurants and stuff, I can't find one organic place. You have to tell me.
Mhm.
So one thing about Palm Springs is they didn't really evolve well with the food trucks and stuff here, like they did in like LA. So I've had a hard time eating healthy here, and guess what? Been hospitalized twice for pneumonia. Like my system went down. I think good food is like your best ally to being well. Really, just eat good food. Spend the money. You'll save it in insurance and copay.
But I think people would just underestimate how easy it is to really make your own foods. Like I'm in between sessions and I have a Ninja grill. Get one of those Ninja grills. You could throw a steak in there. It cooks itself perfectly. Like there's so much you use it. Air fry. Like guys, get yourself a Ninja grill. It's like so easy. 15, 20 minutes.
Karate does anything for your food, but I understand. But
He's like, whoo, the Ninja Chopper. Remember that app?
gotcha.
No, but seriously, that Ninja grill, it saved me so much time. If I just want a steak and potatoes, I just take a steak and throw potatoes in the Ninja grill, put it on grill, and it just cooks in 20 minutes. I have a meal. Season it's easy. I think people just have to find other ways to take more charge of that, because you go to a restaurant, you don't know what the hell they're using. I went to a couple of restaurants. I'm like, this tastes like Costco, meatballs that have been, frozen. And then I asked them, like, yeah, we got them from Costco. I'm like, you think you're getting authentic meals at this place? Sometimes you're not. They're just buying it from the grocery store. The same shit.
Honestly, it's true. And the thing is that the cost of food went so up artificially up during COVID. Okay. And so the restaurants now are feeling a pinch. By the way, you know how long it takes to get a fucking table in LA or somewhere because they don't have the waiters and waitresses because they're not, like where the hell do the wait staff go? What are they doing anyways? How are they making a living? I know it is. It's OnlyFans. That's what it's become. But long story short, yeah, you're right. Restaurants are having to buy cheap food. There's only two ways to make profit, y'all: cut costs and raise revenue. And so cut costs would be food. Food is the only cost of a restaurant. They need cheaper food. And that's also a huge corporation empire where every restaurant's got the same basically the same truck showing up, the same distributors for all food. Doesn't matter what restaurants they are. They're all getting the food from the same place.
True. True.
There are restaurants, little restaurants that all do sustainable food. And they go to the farmers market. People are like, they're too expensive. Yeah, because there's how much fucking cost to eat healthy now.
Which is how much. That's the thing. People don't want to spend money on food, but then just think of the costs that you're saving in your medical bills. Because in the future, that's going to add up.
Buy the organic food. Cancel your insurance. Buy the organic food. You got a better chance. It's all crap. It's all a gamble, anyways, right? Oh my God!
Yeah. I found one restaurant here that uses beef tallow as their method of frying things and stuff like that in their French fries, and they use all this organic stuff. Because I always ask, "What do you fry this in? What do you fry it in?" Zen American Bistro, right across from Lala's or Lulu's. Okay, so Zen American Bistro, they put their fries in beef tallow, and they're so good. Those fries, and a lot of stuff is fresh. So yeah, Zen American Bistro. But
right, Ninja Girl. He will be a sponsor for Ninja Girl right now. I'll tell you right now, guys.
Yes, I'm telling you guys, yes, because you can air fry stuff. It's so easy. You can just throw potatoes in there, meat in there. It cooks the meat to a perfection too. Like it keeps it juicy and.
You guys, contact us. We'll get you access to this guy.
Seriously, Ninja, come on. What a better rep.
It's authentic and he's a psychic. He can tell you psychically.
Right, and I'm Italian.
Totally. All right, so we're gonna have to wrap it up, unfortunately. But some others, plastic, personal care. Just having a personal care plan tells your body you care, because your body's aware, conscious, it knows what you're thinking. Your body knows everything you're doing. It knows that it knows that you're poisoning it. It knows that it's poisoning it. It knows that So your body's actually under threat all the time. It knows that its owner is constantly trying to kill it. I'm not kidding, and that's part of what causes disease. I think consciousness, because everything in your soul is self-aware. Your body's aware that you knew it and you ate it anyways. Would you not be terrified if your father, is cooking you French fries? He knows it's going to kill you, and he's, I know, son, it's going to kill you. And still, that's how our body lives. And we wonder why we get cancer. All right, this body's terrified, wants out. So I think there's a consciousness of loving yourself, and loving yourself is having a care plan, right? Metals and cooking plans. God, we can go on. We're going to have to make this a 3.
Oh, the metals. Oh my gosh, there's so much metals. In this air quality. That's a whole nother thing too.
That's because they're trying to create like an 8G network and turn us into robots. They're putting as much metal in us as they can, so the wireless shit will affect us.
Honestly, really quick, if you think about it, just to sign off, like if we have things that metals in our body and we have this 5G technology, how do we not know that doesn't interfere and fuck with the chemistry of our bodies just by being attached to the radiation and things that we're so connected to with tech? You know what I'm saying? We have metals in our body. How do we know that that's not causing negative reactions?
People go to me, it's a conspiracy theory. I'm like, no. Is it possible? Oh, it is possible. Fuck you. Then it's possible. If it's possible, it might be done. We have to make it not possible. Then I'll cool off and not have any.
People say that they don't believe that the government could be nefarious. They or there's no room for error. I'm like, you don't think people in charge of companies did not somewhere along the way that has the need to want to control and to manipulate? I mean, come on. So we have to be a little rational with that.
I know. I'm afraid here. I don't want to get any dings on this, but it's like people are like, COVID cannot have completely been, organized by one organization. Yes, the World Health Organization. We have an organization that centralizes world health. We actually are organized on that level. We have the capacity to organize on that level. When you have only a few people who control everything, it's easy.
Yeah.
With 7 companies that own everything, it's easy to conspire at 7 because it all just is 155 or whatever. So it's like, anyways.
People are waking up to it though, Chris. I think people are waking up to that. They're starting to notice we've been controlled and duped in almost everything lately. And so I'm starting to see people starting to get it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a long way, but I still think that people are starting to see through it. So that's a positive. So,
well, here's the thing. Y'all want difference? Come to Unite the Light. That's what we're talking about. We are fucking organizing. Okay, Scott, we can bring in via satellite. Doesn't matter. We are organizing. Yes, we'll bring in. Yeah. We'll bring in via satellite. It's time to organize. So be there. Okay, May 17th, unitethelight.love. That's unitethelight.love. I had to throw that in there so we can meet. All right, that's all we've talked. We have to talk about the environment, air pollution, but we'll make that a whole episode. We kind of did with the chemistry, the stuff in the sky. We kind of talked about all that stuff. So yeah, we can maybe do another part 2 of this too. I'm starting to think our EP is evil. She's a 29-degree Libra, and she always brings up topics that pisses me off, and I think that's her plan. I think that's her plan. Yeah, Erica, I'm watching you.
Rontia. She's probably she wants more drama. She wants more reality TV, and we'll bring it.
But she just signed off. That's odd. Just kidding. Anyways, y'all, that's all we have for this week. But we're out there telling you, don't put up with this shift show we call life. Instead, lead out loud.
Lead out loud. Bye, guys.
Indeed. That fucking Rockefeller came up again.
I know. Maybe he's your evil twin from a past life.
I think he is. I think I ran into him somewhere along the lines.
Somewhere maybe he
I
banished
actually do.
you.
I just
You know?
feel. I don't know. Yes, I think I have. I do think I have. You know,
I get a reaction, but like you have like this personal reaction.
I want him dead. Oh, he is dead. No, he's probably somewhere there somewhere. He's probably frozen somewhere. Cryogenic somewhere.
You want his influence dead. That makes more